Strategy without execution is a hallucination. Ambuj Gayal, General Manager, System Storage and Networking, IBM. A primary role that has become more prominent in the last 2 to 3 years is the role of Chief Strategy Officer, CSO. In the past, this role primarily fell on the leader of the business, the Chief Executive Officer, CEO, or President. It also could fall on whichever senior business leader did corporate development, i.e. mergers and acquisitions. As likely, that person was best suited to know the market and what other competitors had for value propositions that he or she might want to duplicate or embellish, and to understand specific market forces. Today, with a globalized economy, the incredibly fast pace of change, and an insurmountable supply of information, business strategy is not something you can work on the side while doing another primary role. Or can you? This chapter goes through a very brief history of business strategy and quickly gets to today's CSO role and some perspective on what does and does not work in business strategy as we know it today. Evolution of strategic planning. Strategic planning has certainly morphed over time. In contemplating this, think about decades of time versus years to look at trends and changes. One of the best articles I've read on this evolution was by Dr. Richard Oliver, who wrote The Evolution of Business Strategy. I include some of the main excerpts and metaphors that he uses because they mirror my own philosophy of using ideas that stick metaphors. It's helpful to look through some of this history to try to predict what new megatrends and events will shape strategic planning and how we drive toward success. Strategy as war. The word strategy is derived from the Greek word strategia, meaning generalship. For early commercial enterprises that moved beyond the family firm, business approaches often mirrored those of the military. The command and control models Army generals used moved easily into business practice with little alteration. Company heads commanded the troops while winning battles through sheer force, superior resources, because they had an impenetrable fortress, a protected market or monopoly, or via guerrilla warfare, going after competitors when they're not expecting it. Some of these thematic elements still exist today. Many top executives regard Sun Tzu's The Art of War, written more than 2,000 years ago, as required reading. The command and control model has been pervasive. Strategy was primarily centered on winning the war by eliminating competitors. We know that a lot of how we organize and execute our businesses comes from the military. Think of the hierarchies and discipline utilized and required today. However, the days of one person being in charge and knowing all the factors and dealings in a business is gone. I'm not saying that there is not a head of a business. Absolutely, you need to have a leader. But that person, today more than ever, needs to be a master orchestrator and organizer in pulling together the many aspects of a business in a globalized economy. While we still need to command and control, we need to do it in a more collaborative approach.